This podcast is for informational purposes only and is not intended to replace professional medical advice or be a substitute for therapy. Please contact a mental health professional as needed. If you are in need of urgent or emergency health care, please contact your medical and/or mental health provider, call 911, or go to your nearest emergency room. The information presented in this podcast does not reflect the opinions of those with whom Dr. Ellick might be affiliated as an employee, consultant, or colleague, past or present. Hello and welcome to another episode of From Mayhem to Mindset with Dr. Laura. I am your host, Dr. Laura Ellick, and I actually have no idea how this conversation is going to go today, but I am so super stoked because in the 5 minutes or so that Julie has been here, I've just been hysterical laughing. So let me introduce my guest today. Julie Khanna is the founder and owner behind two social media companies, Khanna Connections, a public relations, strategic communications, and media marketing agency specializing in the medical, health, and social equity industries, and Khanna House Studios, a full production YouTube, podcast, and content creation studio located in Wellington, Florida, that also provides in-studio and on-site videography. With years of documented experience and secured media placements, Khanna and her team successfully secure top-level local and national media coverage for their clients and provide executive thought leadership on increasing brand visibility. Keeping a pulse on all sides of the media, Khanna is the editor-in-chief of The Well of PBC Magazine and a journalist for many outlets, including Around Wellington, The Town Crier, Newsbreak, Medium, USA Wire, and more. And you showed us your magazine. Tell us about that, baby.
Yes. Well, thank you very much for having me. We're literally meeting for the first time, so this is very exciting.
And organic.
This
is
is
all
way
organic.
to get to know each other. Yeah. And thank you for that introduction. I've heard it before. So the magazine is really cool. As you know, I'm in media. That's one extension of it. And being in media, I'm just kind of a bit of a personality, which is why I guess you were laughing for the first 5 minutes. I'm just used to talking to people.
So when you were a kid, or when you were trying to decide like what I'm going to be when I grow up, like how did you decide like this is what I want to be? Because you almost seemed to me like you would be an actress, a stand-up comic, like something like that.
No, I was like a mute when I was a kid, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, I was scared of my own shadow. I did not speak. I literally didn't speak outside of my house. So I just minded my own business and hung out with my own mind, whatever was going on in there, and I kept to myself. So this is actually very opposite of the way I was when I was a child.
So what made you change?
Do you want the Dr. Laura answer?
Yeah, because I did a whole TikTok video on this.
Yeah, probably trauma.
Okay.
Probably the chaos in my life, and so it threw me into the world. But it's good, right? Your life experiences shape you.
That's how you found your voice then.
Yes, 100%. I mean, maybe the way I found it wasn't the best, but at least I found it, and I'm grateful for that. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you see things like that in practice.
Oh, absolutely.
So what exactly do you practice?
So I'm...
Tell me about you.
Wow, I love this. We're turning it around. So I'm a psychologist.
Okay.
I'm licensed in New York, Florida, and Virginia, and also I have a telehealth license that allows me to practice in like over 40 states. But I do a lot of media work, a lot of speaking.
Is there like an area of expertise that you focus on?
Addiction, eating disorders, medical illness. I do a lot of work with concierge clients, VIPs in this particular area because there are a lot of athletes and businessmen and things like that. But my goal is to really, again, like most people, is to help people. But for me, part of what came out of this was in my clinical work, noticing how early childhood programming can really set us up to be successful or not so successful. And so how do we change that programming? And as we were talking about, before the show started, is the whole idea for the podcast came from an Eminem lyric.
I love that.
And I admire him because in the lyric, he talks about going around causing mayhem. And I'm like, this is a guy who took the worst of the worst that could possibly happen, right? He should have been dead or in jail. And he took it and he created something really amazing out of it and changed his life. And that was all about, you have to have the mindset for change.
Definitely. Do you know what's so interesting? I was literally just thinking about Eminem the other day, and because in his now, right? I think he's in his 50s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So here
Still
he is.
single.
Really?
I'm waiting.
So there's hope. Is that
There's
what I'm
always
hearing?
hope. There's always hope.
Eminem, if you're watching this, I've got a perfect suitor for you.
Give us a call.
So, but I was thinking about him because, he's matured, right? We watched him grow and mature right before our very eyes. So the things he rapped about in his 20s, like he wanted to murder his family, right? And now he speaks almost like in a manner of reflection and appreciation for his past. So sometimes I think like that's got to be hard because it's almost like a brand switch up for him that he's no longer like this hardened guy that hated his ex-wife, hated his mother. He understands the roles that everyone played, right? So, I literally was thinking about this. So from like a
That's so
psychology
funny.
standpoint, that probably impacts him, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a guy who clearly, listen, we can't psychoanalyze him or do a diagnosis, but this is a guy who clearly did the work.
Yes.
Right? And if we want to talk about generational trauma or we want to talk about mindset, he broke whatever patterns were set up for him from birth with his dad taking off when he was a baby and just everything else going on. Again, he could have been dead. Right? Like in all the rapper fights and stuff like that. And he had a conviction for, I think, a gun possession or something. He chose a different way. And we all have the opportunity to choose a different way.
Definitely. But I think one of the challenges that people don't talk about enough, it's like you have to almost reinvent yourself and come up with a new identity. And that in and of itself is its own, that's a hurdle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you have people that quit drinking and being like that party person was part of their identity their whole lives. It's like you lose a lot when you have to stand in your new truth and then build new practices around who you are. And I think the same thing happens when you do the work.
Absolutely.
Like with Eminem.
Absolutely. And not everyone is going to stand with you. Right? Some friendships have to fall by the wayside and it's hard. But same in business. I'm sure the person that you are now is very different from the person you were when you first started your business.
Definitely. Oh yeah. It changes you as a person. I would like you to know also those Eminem thoughts all were while I was brushing my hair. So now you can see why I was a mute when I was a kid. There was so much swirling around up there. Like keep me entertained for hours. But definitely business is the same thing, right? It's relationship games. So as you grow and as you elevate and things change, the world around you changes, by proxy, by osmosis, by nature. Everything is going to look different. The experiences that I always laugh, the experiences that would have stressed me out a year ago are like child's play now. This is easy. I have new sets of stress though. Don't get me wrong.
So how did you get into this field?
So I started out as a nurse. That was my first career.
Wow.
I was I was a teen mom, so I needed a profession that I could grow with and also was, 2 years to go to school. So a lot of times when you're in those situations, nursing and some of these like community service professions, you can go to school, get an associate's degree and still do well for yourself. So that was attractive to me as well as helping people. I enjoyed it. So started out in nursing. Long story, but they threw me into oncology. My very first day, I showed up at the hospital. I said, I want to work with mothers and babies. They were like, yeah, okay, you're going to oncology. That's where we have an opening.
Oncology, wow.
I know. And
I worked in oncology. That is a tough.
Well,
I love it, but it's tough.
Yeah. I fell in love with it. I fell in love with my fellow nurses. Everybody, it's just the team culture there. So I got very good at taking big, hairy, scary information and diagnoses and turning it into something that was digestible to people who were already in very vulnerable positions. As you know, trying to comprehend when you're in that state is difficult. And sometimes the practitioners, they would go in, give them news that was just too hard to comprehend at the time. So, I'd go back in and we did a lot of teaching. In oncology, you do so much teaching. So when I transitioned more into the media side, I like to think of it as still helping the community because I'm still taking large data sets and new evidence-based practices and whatever new technology and findings, and then turning it into something that people can read and meeting them where they're at. So maybe it's, helping these doctors get on a show or a podcast or radio or in a magazine, wherever people can just get that knowledge and get it in a way that they can understand it, and that's going to help them. that's why I choose to stay in medical health, wellness, and like social equity industries. So I never PR like a candle or fashion. Not because no shade on the ones that do,
Right.
but I don't speak that language, you know. This is the language that I speak.
What is social equity? Tell me a little bit more about
Yeah,
that.
so your nonprofits a lot of times and anybody that is working to level out the playing field for the community around them.
I love that. I've seen some of the events that you've hosted, and you're really all about giving to the community.
Yeah.
Now, is that just because of how you were raised and being a teenage mom and just did you receive help from the community? Now you really want to give back?
Yeah, I think that it's just having an understanding that nobody gets where you are alone,
Oh, yeah.
and that we're all we are the sum of our life experiences and the people around us. So I think when you look at life through that perspective, I try to live a life of service, and I am a firm believer that every single person has something to give. So I think where we get it mistaken is we automatically assume that means money, and it doesn't. It's your time, it's your resources, your knowledge, your connections. These days we revere lived and learned experts, you know, and your lived experts are people that have gone through some things.
Right,
So
right.
if you've gone through some things and you know what worked for you, then you can share that with others, you know, mentorship, fellowship, just giving back. And so sometimes I meet people and they say, I don't have time. No, there you have something you can give. And we should. That is our social responsibility.
I love
believe.
that social responsibility. I love that term. I think the giving back piece is so important, and also just recognizing that sometimes maybe all someone needs is a listening ear.
100%.
Right?
You don't have to have the answers either.
Right. Just to say to someone, I hear you.
Right.
It is challenging.
Yeah, and sometimes it's a little tough love too. I'm appreciative of my friends that give me a little, you know, kick when I need to get back on track, you know? So, absolutely. So I try to live my life that way, and obviously I'm not perfect, but I do what I can, and if it encourages someone else to do the same, that's what I hope, you know.
So it must have been a little scary for you to go from nursing, which is a pretty stable, secure job, to your own business. Yeah, how was that making that jump?
Well, that's why I have a bar name.
Okay, you want to tell that? You want to tell
my
that
bar
story?
name is Jackie, and I got a little dive bar because it's scary. It is scary. It's all scary. Are you kidding me? It's still scary. Everything is scary. Everything is scary.
Yeah.
Like you're a nurse and you know where your paycheck's coming from. Okay, I own my own business. You can get fired by your clients. Like it's all scary. The transition looked like what a lot of entrepreneurs who don't have the capital to start up their own business looks like. It's a side hustle until it becomes more of a larger part of your hustle, until it becomes your full-time career. So that's what I had to do. I was in the chemo room in the daytime, and then at night I was at my computer writing stories, cleaning up, you know, bios for doctors, pitching to the news. I will tell you, I did that for as long as I could, until I felt I wasn't giving 100% to my patients because I was distracted. And in oncology, you have
cannot,
to be
right?
all in. I mean, one wrong move and you can put someone's life in jeopardy. It's not worth it. So once I started to feel like I wasn't giving my best, I took that leap and just went fully into the business.
And when was that?
That really was only in 2020.
Wow.
I was still in my kitchen.
Oh my
Shout out
God.
to all the people that worked with me in my kitchen.
So that must have been great. So that was during COVID time and just trying to figure this all out.
You have no idea. My kitchen looked like this with the lights and the cameras and the setups. We were like green screening into our local newsrooms, live streaming panels of doctors during COVID. It was
Sure, that's your area of expertise. You must have been so in demand.
It was wild times. I mean, we were just pushing out story after story after story. And my ex-husband is an infectious disease doctor here in the county. So he was learning COVID as he went. You know, we were trying to keep up we were learning with him as he went. It was just such a wild time. And then my kids, they're also in the business, so they would help, you know, live streaming him and getting the light set up, and just it was I call it the Super Bowl. It was really the Super Bowl for the medical community.
Right. So what kinds of medical professionals do you enjoy working with the most?
Really all of them. Any medical professional, because I feel like I bridge the gap. You know, a lot of times medical professionals are very analytic, and they know medicine. They know it inside and out. Trying to communicate what they know is where sometimes it can be a bit challenging. So I feel so blessed to get to bridge that gap. And so anytime I'm communicating like news that's going to help someone, that's who I enjoy working with.
So can you teach people skills to be on camera?
I have to do that all the time with the doctors.
And
yes.
how do you do that in a way that is not
Easily.
offensive? Well, you were a nurse. Nurses are not afraid of doctors.
I'm going to tell you what I tell them. Picture yourself at career day at middle school. This is not the New England Journal of Medicine. Your colleagues are not in the room. You are speaking to the family down the road who desperately could use this information, or whose information this life could change. Like, that's who you're talking to. Take the medicine cap off and speak like you're at career day. And that just like lowers all their expectations. Because otherwise it's a fail for me too if they get on camera and they start speaking in medical jargon.
No one's going to get it.
Overshot everybody who's listening to this, and we didn't help anyone.
They're going to zone. They're going to zone.
Exactly. Yeah. So a lot of times it's just like humanizing and giving context to what they're speaking about. Sometimes I have to jump in and, kind of clean some of it up. But for the most part, we go through enough training, and then once they get it.
So has there ever been anyone where you're like, oh my God, this is just not going to work? Yeah. You don't have to say who it is, but
sometimes.
So there are some people where it's just like, oh,
it's rare, but sometimes they can't. But usually, if that happens, I'm going to be honest with you, it's no longer a knowledge gap; it's an ego problem. Then the ego is just too flared, too in the way. That's a character flaw. Like, we're not going to work. It's going to be a good fit for both of us.
Yeah. So how do you pick and choose? Do people come to you? Do you seek out people?
So we're very blessed. Most of our clients are all just get referred to us. I've never really had to advertise, and then I vet you as well to make sure that we're going to be a good fit.
Mm-hmm. That is a blessing. That's a blessing.
Yeah, of course you don't know until you get in there, because sometimes people say a lot of things, and then they get in there, and it's like, oh shit, this is not a good fit. But then we part ways. It's nothing but love, but it didn't work out,
So I have a question for you. After we take a brief break. Okay, so we're back. Here's the question. You have probably one of the most bubbly, happy personalities. You just look like you're having fun. And one of like the last podcasts that I just recorded with the person that was here before was all about bringing fun into the workplace and fun into your life and playfulness. And you've got that. So is that an acquired skill? No,
I think ignorance is bliss. I live in a bubble. I really do. I live in a bubble, and in my bubble, I think everyone is having fun, and everyone likes me, and I like everyone. And if you don't like me, there's a good chance I don't notice. And if you're mad at me, there's an even better chance I don't notice. I am blissfully unaware of things. I kind of
like that, actually. How's that working for you? Tell us all about that.
Probably fine. Who knows? There could be people that watch this and think, yeah, we've been fighting I would never know. I would be the last person on earth to know that there was a problem.
Wow.
Because if I have a problem with something, then we talk about it, and then we all go on our merry little business. So I don't know.
So you're not holding grudges. No. Like if something's going on with someone, you're just going to tell it. Let's just talk about it, be done, and let's move on.
100%. If our morals don't align, I probably just steer clear of you. Like that's really how this works for me. I just navigate life in my own little world. I'm single though, so I don't know if that means anything. So I just go wherever I want. I go hang out with my girlfriends. I hang out with my kids.
Oh, wait, so that's where the bar name comes from.
Yes, I go to the bar. I go to the dive bar when I really just want to go off the radar, and I tell everyone my name is Jackie. Tonight I'm going to the movies by myself. Get a big bucket of popcorn. I can't wait for that.
Okay, what are you going to see?
Oh, Superman.
Yeah.
Superman. I'm so excited. Yeah, and then I'll go on a date if I feel like it. I won't if I don't. I just do whatever I want.
Okay, so this brings it up. One of the things that I do in a lot of my other videos that I do, like separate from this, we're talking about dating all the time because I'm single also, and like how crazy it is.
It's the wild, wild west.
Yeah. So okay. So question: apps or no apps?
Yes, apps.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
What's your app?
What's your
go-to app?
Okay. Yes. There's got to be stories to tell. I do it for the plot too. So
There's always a
without
plot.
the app,
There's always a
no
plot.
story. Facebook dating for sure. And then, okay, this is terrible, but I'm on Tinder. That's because the publicist for Tinder gave me like the platinum. There's a story there, but I really only made it on one date, and I got scared, so I didn't do Tinder again.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So Tinder. Okay. So we like Facebook dating. No, we don't like that.
But I'm on it.
But you're on it.
No,
Okay.
I don't think there's an app on the earth that anyone likes. It's an experience. That's all you have to approach it as, an experience. That's it. Like, that's okay. So Friday, this is funny. I went on a date, right? I leave the studio and I go on a date. And my party trick is I only go for a drink because I'm going to know in 10 minutes if I like you or not. I could just feel it, you know? So I meet this guy at the bar for a drink, but the damn bar is full. So the waitress says, would you like to sit for dinner? And he said, sure. And I was like, oh, shit. So now I'm committed.
Yes.
And that is painful for me. So, okay, I decide I'm going to eat. Now I'm committed. So now I'm going all in. I'm going to eat my dinner and then I'm going to leave. So I order my favorite thing on the menu and I'm fully planned on paying for myself. So I get what I want. And I'm sitting there and he's talking and talking and talking. So I already knew I didn't like him. Yeah. So if I don't like you, what will happen is I'll just ask you questions about you so that.
And not talk about yourself.
Correct. Right. So when I go to my car, I know you know nothing about me, no harm, no foul. I'm leaving. Well, we are about 3/4 of the way through, and my son and his best friend show up pretending to be the servers.
I saw that on your Instagram. I saw that. That is classic.
Yes, because my family is oddly close. So my son is standing there, and he says, can I get you a bread basket for the table? And I'm like, shit, because I lied and told my son I was somewhere else. And this guy says, no, we're fine. Thank you. And then, of course, they lean in harder and they're like, just a piece of bread? And he's like, I said we're fine because now he wants to show me how tough he is, right? And I'm like, oh, my God, this can't be real. So they lean in again. They're like, how about a bite of bread? Like, oh, my God, this is so funny. So needless to say, we did not get any bread. There was no bread to be had. And I'm never going to see that guy again.
But what a great screening tool.
That was the end of it. My kids, like, they literally asked me if they can be on the panel next time I ever date someone. I'm like, what? No.
So the apps, obviously, anybody who I talk to has said the apps are like, stop, like, just don't. They're just toxic. But where would someone go to meet someone organically? That's what I'm hearing. Not just from women. Yeah. I hear it from guys. Guys are the biggest responders to my videos.
Really?
Yes, because I do a lot of videos about red flags. And so, you know, I'm going to be doing one for the guys, but like, okay, if you're going on a date, what's the biggest red flag? What are you looking for?
Oh, I'm probably the worst person to give any advice. I fail at relationships. I can't figure this out. I can figure out business. I can figure out parenting. I tank in a relationship. I get in there and I'm like, I don't know. In the first 5 minutes, I guess my red flag, I mean, besides the obvious, like if you're unemployed, if you're unambitious, it's not going to work because I'm ambitious. And then I can't feel like I'm working harder than you. Weird feeling for me. I guess if you say things that are like awful, like towards your character or like a shit moral compass, I can't even fake the funk then. I'm like, I'm out, you know? So I guess those are my big red flags. And if you lied, like, and they all lie on the apps. It's so funny. Like,
and it's
don't you
funny.
know we're going to find out?
Men will say the same thing, that the women all lie. So what, like, you know that you're going to see them in person.
And the filters.
Like, why lie about your height? You're not all of a sudden going to grow 5 inches, like, by the time the date is coming.
Yes.
So you think I'm not going to notice that you're 5 inches shorter? Now, look, I don't care about height because I have dated people from all different. That doesn't bother me.
Sure.
Right. What bothers me is lying.
Yes. Also, you have to know you're going to get caught. What was your plan when you got caught?
Right.
Are we just going to pretend you didn't lie about your height?
Right.
Like, it's so strange. Or your profession. Oh, my God. I was on a date with this one guy, and he picked up his cell phone and took a selfie of us while I was mid-bite, by the way. So, like, my mouth is wide open. I made him delete it. I was like, get my face out of your phone. So weird. I know people are weird. It's the wild, wild west here. I think
I've used that exact term with people. It's the wild, wild west.
I've committed to being single for the rest of this life. I think I just threw in the towel.
Do you think it's a South Florida thing?
Yes, I think our moral compass. So, okay, that's a good question. I live in a dual reality, and I know that because I do the work, because my colleagues and my network of people are people that are like, we are out here really trying to make the place better. The folks that we cover in the well, I mean, this is their profession. It's their personal lives. This is all we know. So I get skewed because my bubble really starts to look like that. It is everyone I know. And then pop that bubble because I go on a date and I'm like, oh my God, there's a whole world over here of people who don't have a solid moral compass, who are actually scary human beings, have no good intentions for you. Yes, I do think it's South Florida, but I think it's that bubble of South Florida. But unfortunately, that is like the majority of the bubble.
It's a big bubble.
It's a huge bubble, right? So like in my little world, I'm like happy, and that's why I create my bubble over here. Yeah, once that bubble is popped, it's no man's land. I'm screwed.
So someone asked me this question and asked me to vote on this question. So I'm just going to pose it to you because I had a perspective on it. Going for a walk for a first date, yay or nay?
Nay. I'm going to be out of breath and sound like a freaking air conditioner.
All right. Good point. Good point. See, my rule on that, I don't mind it because, you know, if it's like, you know, going a beach walk or something during the day. At night, I'm not. I had someone who wanted to meet at night for a walk on the beach. I am not going with anyone who I don't know
how long this walk is.
Yes, like that's what serial killers do. Like, no.
I'd have to know going in, how far do you expect me to walk? What if you get in there and they're like a marathoner and they're like, okay, let's go 26 miles. Let's walk to Kentucky.
Good. That's a good point. A lot of women have brought that up, that they don't want to sweat on a first date.
Not even that. I'd be like, you get 0.2 of a mile out of me, bud. Like, if I like you, we can go 0.3. But if not, no way. Yeah.
So some women have said to me that a walk on a first date is cheap, and he needs to treat me like the queen I am.
Oh, no. See, I don't agree with that mentality. Okay, this is where I do think that we are going to have a widening division in the dating, because I call it like girl TikTok, but on our side of social media, the pressure and expectations that they are putting on men, I think, are so unrealistic and unachievable. No wonder they're villainizing men so hardcore and like promoting that princess and queen treatment. Yeah. And I don't care. Don't come for me in the comments. All the girls are going to be like, you're a pick me girl. No, I'm not. It's unrealistic. They're vetting you too. They've been through a lot too. A lot of times at this age, we're all post-divorce. So like, we're rebuilding too. They want to protect their resources too. So
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yes, nothing. You do not deserve princess treatment off the bat. Do something to deserve it first. Like, they want females. Girl TikTok promotes going in and getting a red carpet treatment right off the bat and being able to set all these expectations for the man right off the bat with the doing nothing in return. And so, like, if he doesn't text back quick enough, or like if he's not texting you first or taking the initiative, you're supposed to cut him off. You're never going to get anywhere with that mentality.
People are busy. Right? People are busy. Like, you know, it's okay to send a message, and maybe someone's at work and they can't get back to you for a couple hours. I mean, I don't know about your day, but a lot of times I'm back to back, and I assume you are too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And men have been burnt too. So
yes, and people don't seem to recognize that. So I'm seeing, because I promised that I would do for the guys a list of like, okay, she probably doesn't deserve a second date if she does this on the first date.
Yes.
And there are guys who will tell me that women treat a first date like a free, exotic, like dinner. Let's go to this nightclub. Let's go to here. No. Let's go to there in Miami. You send an Uber for me so that I don't have to drive. Right? And the expectation is that the guy will pay for the Uber. Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, that I wouldn't even, you're not getting a second date. You're probably not getting a first date if that's your expectation. So guys, I am totally on your side with this.
Yeah, it's a hard moment in time for men right now, no doubt. Like, it is really hard, and they're being villainized. You should see the content that's on our side. It's not easy.
It's not pretty.
I recognize that. And also, like, so I have a 17-year-old son, And, I try to support him. I don't know what it's like to be a guy. I'm doing the best that I can, but I, I sympathize for him. He's a human being too. Like, I think right now everyone wants the men to just unnaturally, unrealistically be a godlike figure to these women. And like, but also I look around and what do you bring to the table? I am from this place where, it's a partnership in a true sense. Like, you complement each other's strengths and weaknesses, and you figure your shit out and together and in silence. And I don't know, it's a hard day. That's why I don't know. I don't know, maybe that's a dying breed. Maybe I'm going to be single forever. I already committed to that construct, so I'm good from here. I'm going to have dogs.
Oh my gosh, but if you're committed to it, does that mean you're never going to bring it in?
Well, I think it would have to really be someone, honestly, who aligns with the moral compass. That's my big thing. Like,
but with the work that you do, like doing a lot of service work, you would think that you would meet people who...
Yeah, they're taken.
Yeah,
the good ones are taken.
I know. I've heard that too.
And that's the other thing. So I'm really like trying to study relationships right now and just be a little more observant. So in your 20s, you have the luxury of growing together. And I really see what a privilege that is, especially dating now at 41, because you come in, you're set in your ways. You've got these lived experiences, whatever you've been through, and then trying to grow at this together at at somewhat of a similar pace. Listen, this is not for the weak.
Yeah, you're already kind of molded already, and sort of like, well, I don't like this, but I found that people just, I don't know, maybe we've lost our ability to be flexible. It's sort of like the Amazon cart effect. Like, okay, I'm going to put you in my cart. Oh, but this guy has this and you don't. So I'm taking you out of the cart and putting this guy in. And it just feels like we're all so disposable.
Yes. And that is such a false narrative. Like, the grass at this age, truly what I believe is we need to abandon the grass is greener on the other side mentality and look more towards, you're the person I want. You came with baggage. I came with baggage. You came with, whatever habits you have and I have. And you know what? I'm investing in you and we're going to figure this out together. We're going to grow together. I'm going to work this. But people don't have that kind of grit right now. It feels like they don't have that tolerance to do that. So because, again, everyone is disposable. I don't like what you did. Gone.
Yep, he didn't respond to me quick enough. Block.
I cannot. I'm sure. Oh my God! If you guys are waiting for me to respond right away, I'm sure I got blocked somewhere along the way.
I've had people like where they send something late at night and I'm sleeping, and so I wake up the next day and I see it, and they're like, "Guess you're not interested." Block.
Oh my God!
It's like, okay, am I allowed to sleep?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's these rigid standards that are so wild.
Do you think it's because at the end of the day we're all afraid of vulnerability?
I think vulnerability has a lot to do with it. I will tell you something else. I think that social media and these coaches and experts on there's not an alliance in the messaging. So it's still open for interpretation, and people's misinterpretations of what they believe to be true, they're applying that, and it's leading people to cut off quicker than ever. That is pattern right now. We just ghost and we cut off and we dispose. And what does that do to someone's self-esteem, right? If you could just be thrown away so easily by so many people, I think it's going to become, it desensitizes you.
Absolutely. And I see my kids. I have 3 kids. So watching
Me
as
too.
they really, what are their ages?
I got in trouble last time because I told my wrong kid's age. It's 23. 23, 17, and 16.
So all boys, girls?
Girl, boy, girl. How about you?
Okay, so I have a boy who's 23.
Oh, we have 23-year-olds.
Yeah. Wait, yours is a girl?
Yes.
Oh, we'll have to hook them up.
Yes.
Okay, so 23. I have a son who is going to be 21 and a daughter who's going to be 16 tomorrow. Happy birthday, Cameron, sweet 16.
So we have a 16-year-olds and then 23-year-olds.
Yeah. So, but what I see with the kids, with the dating is... Even my boys, like, they'll be like, my one son treats girls so nicely. brings flowers on a first date, like
Aw.
gentleman kind of thing. Let me think of a place for a first date that she would want to go based on our conversations. And then like, he'll be a great guy. And then all of a sudden it'll come up like, oh, I wanted to get back to my boyfriend, you know, the boyfriend who abused her or the boyfriend who treated her like
Yeah.
crap. It's almost like the girls are not, at some age, is not ready for
It is so
a good
hard.
guy. And, you know, we're sitting here like,
Right.
where are the good guys?
Right.
Where are they?
Right.
Yeah.
It's very hard. Wow. So we have this in common. So it's hard to try to navigate our own love life and dating and then support our kids because that's a whole other set of rules.
And
You're
I see
right.
them getting jaded. And I'm like, you're too young to get jaded.
That is very true.
Yeah.
They are. They 100% are getting jaded. And they too are starting to absorb that, like, on to the next one mentality. So
I'll just cut you off, never answer you. And it's like, we can't have tough conversations.
Right.
All you need to say to someone is, hey, you know, I loved spending time with you. I'm glad we went out the past couple times, but, you know, I just don't think we vibe.
Okay,
And that's
I
it.
have a question for you. Do you think men are intimidated by your profession?
Ooh, people have told me yes.
I believe that.
I don't think I'm intimidating personally
No.
because there are videos of me like rapping to Eminem in my pajamas and stuff. So like I am so not
Again,
intimidating.
Eminem, if you're watching.
He's my guy. So yeah, I can be very silly, but people will always say first thing is, "Are you analyzing me?"
That's what I would think.
Right.
And-
No, and I say to people when I'm with you socially, I'm off duty.
Yeah.
Like I'm off duty. I can separate those two. Like I really hope if I dated a doctor, he wouldn't be thinking, I want to see what her liver looks like. You know what I mean? Like stop.
Don't
Like
look at mine.
yeah.
Yeah. But I bet you they would be intimidated by you because they know they can't bullshit you. I mean, if you know psychology, you know everything.
You know, a couple tricks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they can't BS you, and they probably. I'm sure that's a for the wrong person. But I guess as they say, you know, the right person's out there.
Is out there.
I don't know.
We're still looking. We're still looking.
I did date somebody. This was a few months ago, and it was pretty consistent for about 3 months. So that seemed. I was like, okay, 3 months is a long time in this day and age, right? Like to make it past those first few weeks. No one got ghosted. No one got blocked, and then I call it a hard discard. I don't know if that's what it was, but it was a blindsiding. One day he was like, "Hey, I think I might not be over my ex. I can't do this because I'm still not over my ex." And I remember thinking like, so that's another thing to learn too. That's another question I ask now on dates, like, how long ago did your last relationship end? And that's how I learned that way. So what are some of your staple questions that you try to ask on a first date? Mine is that one.
Okay, I like that one. Someone actually told me to make a list. And I'm like, some people, and again, this is guys, if a woman says this to you, there may not be a second date. So I promised you guys I would make a list. When she tells you she's interviewing you, I have women who will go in and say,
It's awkward.
this is an interview.
That's so awkward.
It's awkward, right? Who wants to be put in that position?
Instantly, my name would change to Jackie. I feel like I'm Jackie.
Absolutely.
I'm a writer.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Drink box wine, go to hell.
I want to find out about someone,
Right.
right, without feeling that it's a job interview.
Okay.
So, but I do want to know, do they believe in giving back?
Okay.
That is
So
super.
you weave that into the
Yes,
conversation.
that is so
okay.
super important to me. I like someone who is divorced rather than never been married or had a partner die.
I agree. Oh, the partner died.
You will never be able to live up to the memory of that person.
Okay. Okay. I could see that.
If it was a good relationship,
Sure.
right? With a divorce, they know what it's like
Do
to
you
go
have
through
like
a divorce.
a time, how long they've been divorced that you prefer?
I mean, it depends how long it was bad. I would say you have to at least have been divorced and done some work on yourself, like feel recovered for about a year.
Okay, a year. That's good to know. Okay.
I'm not looking at someone who is separated from their
Right.
person and is dating. you're not through it
And
yet.
no judgment. It's just like it's too risky.
It's too
risky.
the vulnerability to put
Correct.
yourself
Yeah.
out there for someone 3 months later who's
Right.
going to say,
Exactly.
I'm not over it yet.
Right.
It's just not fair.
It's just high risk. So I've actually been trying to look at relationships almost from a business, like risk analysis point of view. And that is true. Like that length of time matters. And I actually did not ask that question in that particular relationship. I just, maybe it came up in conversation. Maybe I didn't know to look for it. So now I do. Okay. So the length of time, and then you prefer divorce, which makes total sense. How about if they've never had kids?
I want to know the reason why.
Okay.
Right? If it's, I thought kids would take away from my life, my career, I appreciate the honesty. But I have kids, and I'm not going to, even though mine are older, I'm not going to be ditching them
Right.
to go to an event with you when I have to go to an event that's really important to them.
Right. Especially at this age, because they are 1 foot out the door, these kids. So,
Right.
you know. Okay, so these are the questions you want to get in on the first date.
Yeah. But it's you gotta weave it in.
Yes.
Do you take care of your health?
Oh, that's a good one.
Have you not been to the dentist in like 20 years? Like, do you like take care of yourself?
Okay, so what do you do when you're in the middle of the date and you hear some things you don't like that? Like, I don't really go to the gym. I smoke a few packs of cigarettes a day. I'm a drinker. Like, obviously you can't go, ooh.
We're done here.
Yeah. So what do you do?
I usually just ask for more information. Oh, that's so interesting. Like, did you ever think about quitting, or do people around you smoke? Like, how'd you even get into it?
Yeah.
So I just try to learn more about them, because it will tell me, is this like a habit that they really want to quit but haven't been able to? Are they committed to sitting on the couch all weekend? Because that's just not my person.
Oh, that
too.
Yeah,
Like
that's a
I
good
don't
one.
mind football. Like football's kind of cool. It's a lot of fun. Let's create a little party or whatever. But if you're going to be on the couch from like 8 in the morning to 11 at night, entire football season, that might not work.
My perfect date would be doing something volunteering, like when we deliver hurricane supplies, or when we're doing Meals on Wheels or a beautification project. Like, that's my dream date. I love those. But unfortunately, you can't do that as a first date. That'd be awkward. That's like you have to like get to know someone before you drop that little bomb on them. Like, hey, let's go paint a house for someone who can't do it for themselves, or you know what I mean? Like that's my favorite kind of date.
But I'm sure when you tell people what you do and the kinds of organizations that you work with, I'm sure you're going to tell by their reaction whether they're into it or not.
Well, it's very telling, actually. And it's even also their level of understanding, or like what's their experience been in that kind of, like, people will say to me, why would I do anything for free?
Yes.
Oh, that bothers me so deeply. It just stings my soul. I don't want to, like, I just don't have that mindset at all, And I can appreciate you maybe not making a monetary donation to an organization, because listen, everyone's in different walks of life, but you still have something to give. So it's a mindset that would bother me, that mindset. Which
is exactly what we're talking about with mindset.
No judgment on my end. We're just not compatible. And so the risk analysis is going to be, hey, we wouldn't work out. It's like, it's a waste of time for both of us, It's just not going to, this is not going to pan out.
No, because if you're not aligned on the major things, your morals, your values, your identity issues, you can't change those things. You can modify behavior. Like, okay, I'll watch football with you, even though it's not my favorite thing to do, but you can't change someone's morals and values.
Yeah, you have to love polo too, because I'm at polo every Sunday.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's actually gotten in the way. Some people that I've dated love it. They're like, polo, and then others are like, I hate this.
So would you date a polo player?
Probably. I mean, maybe, sure, if we were all aligned. Polo player, just because they played polo, I don't know enough about polo that I would be interesting to them. I just know the sidelines where we party.
Gotcha.
That's it.
So wrapping up with a couple more fun questions. You do PR. This has been all over the news. the Jumbotron. We have to talk about the Coldplay
Yay!
Jumbotron.
I recreated that. I just recreated that for social media.
So much fun.
Yeah.
Even though, look, there are people who are very, very hurt by this situation. I know it has been, there's just something funny about it. I'm sorry. I know that other people are hurt, but as a PR person, what would you like to say? These are your clients. What the heck would you do?
Yeah. So I saw a few statements that were released, and so I don't know which one was the actual approved statement, because in the one that is the most widely circulated right now, he issues somewhat of a neutral at best apology, but then dials it back in by placing blame on Coldplay.
That's the one that I commented on. Which someone said it was AI. But I said the same exact comment. Like, okay, those things you did right, that one at the end,
if that
just
were
basically
real,
erased
you
everything.
negated your entire apology. And so that wasn't the best move. I'd like to think there was not a PR firm behind them releasing that statement. I mean, at the end of the day, I have been in situations where my clients have done things that were, less than favored upon morally. And, in those moments, you apologize, you do your best to mitigate it, you humanize yourself in that moment, right? Like, we all make decisions that we're not proud of, but we have to own what we've done.
The accountability is so important.
Yeah, and we face we have to take the consequences, right? Like, you make your bed, you lie in it. That's what has to happen. And I feel like that approach is typically the best, well-received approach, because I think everyone can resonate with not behaving in their best in different seasons of life, right? And so it's going to be seeing that there's accountability being taken and recourse. People want to see you punished for your actions. That's it. It's easy to throw stones, from where you sit. So I think he got fired, didn't he? Or he resigned. So that's going to be the recourse. Give it 2 weeks and this will start to die out.
That's what I was wondering. Can they come back from this?
Professionally, they should be able to. I mean, this is not going to go away, but professionally, whatever qualities that they had that they bring to their profession, they should, someone's going to pick them up. I think it's going to be with time, because any other company is going to have to let this die out a little bit. And then one of the most powerful tools that we all have is called social listening. So it really, truly just means monitoring people's reactions. I think that any company is going to use social listening to see how they move next when it comes to hiring these two. So if people are still throwing stones, you're going to have to ride that storm out before they get hired again,
Wow, this has been like a really cool conversation. We've been all over the place.
You got to join me at the dive bar.
Well, you know what? We're going to have to make up a name, and we are not releasing the name of the dive bar, but I will have a secret name, kind of like Beyonce has Sasha Fierce.
Yes.
Right? We'll come up with a name, and then we'll go out and
everybody
we'll do it.
had a fake name.
No, I don't. I got to come up with one now. Kind of like, on Facebook, they have what's your elf name or what's your okay, we'll have to come up with one. So Julie Khanna, it has been an amazing conversation. Thank you so much for stopping by today. This has just been so fun. I mean, I can't say anything else. And you're an awesome professional and you're doing such great things in the community. So where can people reach you?
Yeah, definitely. Please follow me. My real name is wishmeluck_. And then from there, you can see some of the other things we're doing. Khanna House Studios, that's our event space in Wellington. It's podcast production, but we have some really cool events, line dancing, comedy nights. We teach media classes there. So Sip and Spill is this week. Ooh. Sip and Spill is so fun. I love Sip and Spill. That's a ladies networking event. And then from there, you'll also find Khanna Connections. That's our PR firm. We post free media opportunities. So please follow us there. It's literally no cost, no catch. We just capture the voices of our lived and learned professionals in the community. So please give us a follow. And then, of course, I'm on TikTok, too. So Julie Khanna.
I love it. Thank you so much, Julie. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of From Mayhem to Mindset. Peace out. Thanks for joining us on From Mayhem to Mindset. If you found today's episode helpful, be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and leave a 5-star review. It really helps spread the message. Want to dive deeper? Check out my book, Wisdom from the Universe, available now on Amazon. And if you're looking for a speaker to inspire and transform, I'd love to connect. Visit www.lauraellick.com to learn more. Remember, you don't have to just survive, you can thrive. See you next time.